How's everybody doing today? Um, we're going to kind of jump off of your cube assignment that you did yesterday and learn how to make houses and landscapes in 1 point perspective. So what you need today is a pencil, a ruler, and a piece of paper. And you can use a handheld eraser as well if you would like to. You don't have to though. But we're going to start off the same way that we did by making our horizon line. And the horizon line is the line that separates the ground from the sky. It's your eye level. So there's my horizon line. Then I'm going to make my vanishing point, which is this teeny tiny dot in the middle of your line. And that's where everything is going to connect back to. It's always going to connect back to that dot in your picture. So we're going to start off by making a road today, and that way we kind of get a better view of where the middle of our paper is, and maybe we can put a house over here and here. It just gives us a good place to start. So go ahead, draw a triangle like this with your vanishing point at the top. Now, you want to make sure it's touching your vanishing point. That's very important. If things don't line up with your vanishing point, it's not going to look right in the end. And to make it look like a road, I'm just going to take my pencil. I'm trying to keep my paper as straight as possible. And you are going to make a dotted line. And if you would like to, you can make the dotted lines get a little bigger as they get near the end of your paper right here, because this would be way back in the distance and this would be closer to us. So the lines would be bigger up here versus tiny back here. Next, we're going to work on making some power lines next to the road. Let me see if I can get this to be a little brighter for you. Nope. All right, so we're going to make power lines next. You're going to take your pencil and you are just going to kind of draw a line going next to your road right here. So your power lines are going to fit in between this line right here and this line right here. Let me move this over a little bit so we don't have this shadow. There we go. So what you're going to do is you want your power lines to go between here and here. So everybody take your ruler and you are just going to draw posts. All right, so look at what I'm doing. I'm just making sure my ruler doesn't do this. You don't want it slanting out like this because that makes your power lines look like this. Like they're kind of like slanting, like they've been hit by a tornado or something. You want yours to be nice and straight. So look at your ruler when it's on your paper and ask yourself, does my ruler look perfectly straight next to my paper? That's a big thing I see a lot of people mess up. They'll kind of make their lines slant outwards and they'll think it's vertical and they're really just not looking at their paper. But so make sure you're looking at your paper and your ruler and ask yourself, is this vertical? So this is vertical right here. If you were to slant your ruler like this and make a line that looks like this, everybody see that line? You don't want your sticks, your poles to look like that because that's not perfectly vertical. So I'm going to erase that line. So now what we're going to do is we want these to look more like posts. So how we're going to do that is you're going to take your ruler, make sure it's perfectly horizontal this time. And you're just going to take your pencil and hopefully you can see what I'm doing, but you're going to square off the top of your posts like that. And you are also going to do that to the bottom of your posts. And that way they look more like posts. We're going to erase the extra lines we don't need here in a moment. But for right now, you don't have to worry about erasing anything because we need our orthogonal line, which is this line right here, for this next step. So I'm just going to go through here now and make little lines like this. Hopefully you can see that okay. And that'll kind of make them look a little more like power lines. unless like just sticks in the ground, like that. After that point, you can go ahead and erase this line right here that we don't need, and you can go ahead and erase the top part of your post that you don't need anymore. So you kind of will just go through there, erase everything. It's okay if you have more posts than me or less posts than me. You just want to make sure you're using the correct technique to draw your power lines. And you're going to want to draw nice and light for this. Like you can see, I didn't quite draw light enough, mainly because I wanted to show up for you guys. But you want to draw light for this. That way when you erase, you won't get these ghost lines right here. So next thing we're going to do is, if you would like to make 2 lines right here, you can. Sometimes I like to do that to make them look a little bit more like power lines. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to go through here and add one more little line to all of my power lines. Like that. And then one thing I like to do is come through here and add some little curly cues. To your power lines. And that's just like a fun detail you can add to make them look a little more like power lines and less like big sticks in the ground. Like that. So those look pretty good to me. So now we're going to come out here and I'm going to show you how to make a house. So we're going to start off by taking your ruler. If you don't have a ruler, that's okay. You can just use a straight edge. A straight edge would be like using the side of another paper and a side of a book, anything that's straight, just to help you draw a straight line. I do encourage you to please use your ruler to help you draw a straight line. So for instance, when I go from 0 to 2, I'm using the edge of my ruler to make sure my line is straight. Now I'm just doing a 2" by 2" square and trying to make it as straight as I can. I'll just finish that off right there. All right, so now I've got my square. But yeah, you just want to make sure that, don't be afraid to use the edge of your ruler to make sure your line is straight. A lot of people like to measure and then pick it up and then draw their line, but you won't get as straight of a line that way. This next part, we're going to go ahead and draw our triangle here on top. If you made your cube, if you made your cubes yesterday or on Monday, this part should be a little familiar to you, but I'm just going to draw a square with a triangle on top. And now I'm going to connect this corner, and this corner back to my vanishing point. You don't have to make those X's on your paper. I was just doing that to show you. But if you're drawing a line and it's going to go through your house, if you, for instance, if you wanted to connect this one back to your vanishing point, you can do that, but it's just kind of an extra step because you're just going to have to go back and erase that line because it's going to go through your house. So you can just skip that step. Just do the lines that won't go through your house. So now I've got this long, skinny house, but I want it to be more of a regular sized house. I don't want it to be as long. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to get a Sharpie to show you, or a marker. I'm going to push my ruler up against this line right here to make sure it's vertical. So I'm going to push my ruler up right here. I'm going to pull it down until I like the length of my house, and then I'm going to draw a line. You want this line and this line to be parallel, so going the same direction. And then you're going to push your ruler up for this next step against your triangle line right here. So you're going to put it right there. Ask yourself, is it going the same way as this line? And it is. You're going to pull it down until it meets the line in your last step and cut it off. So now you've got that. You can go ahead and erase your excess lines. And I'm about to show you how to make a windows and a door. And then we're going to wrap it up for today. So you can come back here. I need my horizon line still, so try not to erase that. I just erased it on accident. But you don't really want to erase your horizon line, unless if it's going through your house, which mine is. So it should look something like that. If your house is more down here and it's not above the horizon line, that's okay too. It's the same steps. All right, so for this next part, I'm going to use pink marker so you can see a little better. what you want to do to make windows is you want to decide where you want your windows on this house. So I want mine a little towards the top. So I'm going to section off with 2 orthogonal lines. You don't have to do this in marker. Please do this part in pencil. Sometimes people say it's a little hard to see this part, so I use a marker. So I've drawn 2 orthogonal lines, and I want my windows to be within this space. So that's why I did my orthogonal lines right there. You want them to be in this space right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler, and you basically get to decide by making some vertical lines how many windows you would like. So I'm going to make 3 windows like that. And if you can't see where the windows are, I'll color them in for you real quick. So those are my windows. You can color yours in too if you like. But you can also go ahead and erase this part of your line, this part of your line, and this, like the parts in between your window that you don't need. So you can erase your pink lines now. Or for you, what would have been just regular lines. And then if you would like to make a door, you would just take your ruler, draw an orthogonal line where you want the top of your door. I want mine to be right there. And then take your pencil, draw 2 vertical lines, and then you can add your dot if you want. And then you can erase these lines that you don't need. And it may look a little funny to you, maybe saying, why is it slanted like that? The reason it's slanted is because it's going back into space. So this part right here of your house is facing us. So it's not going to be slanted, but this part is going back. It's going back towards the road. So we are trying to mimic that illusion by making everything slant. And how we're making that slant at the right angle is by using these orthogonal lines, or these pink lines right here. So any line coming out of your vanishing point is going to make things look like it's going back into space. So for today, you can add details up here if you want. You can add mountains, a sign. But basically today, I just want you to have a house, practice your road, and your power lines. We'll do a project with this later, but for right now, I just want to see your practice. We might do a project. It depends on how fast my online classes go with this. If I feel like it's just we're not going to have enough time to do a project, we'll just grade this. If I do have time to do a full project, we'll do a whole different thing where I teach you how to do different roofs and things like that. But for right now, don't worry about any of that. On your paper, I just want you to have your house with your windows and door, your road, and your power lines. So just pretty much follow along with this video. If you followed along with the video already, great job. Just take a picture and submit it into Schoology. And that's your assignment for today. One more quick thing though, please do not email me this project. Okay, please don't email me. I've gotten some people still emailing me. I've tried to email back and send Schoology messages, but they just seem to really want to email me. Please don't send me any projects through email. You want to send this through Schoology, okay? So go ahead, send that through Schoology to me. If you have any questions, just let me know. Just email me or send me a Schoology message. I am here to help you.